What's up, guys? Dual Coast Podcast. We are sitting together still in Santa Cruz, California.
Under the redwoods, baby.
Under the redwoods. Coming off an insane weekend at Impact Santa Cruz Health and Wellness, Mental and Physical Wellness Summit. My colleague here put it all together. It was absolutely epic. Russ, what do you think? How'd it go?
Epic. That's a great word. You know, we put a lot of time, put a lot of energy into this thing, getting people to come, getting the speakers lined up. Dan and I were just talking about like how people connected, and that was really it. The connectivity over the weekend, on yesterday with regards to Impact Santa Cruz today. We accomplished what we set out in our goals, and that was to make an impact in the community. And you know, I've got friends that know about what I do when it comes to movement, writing books, you know, going out and speaking, but they've never been a part of something like this that we put on yesterday.
For sure.
For 3 hours, impacting Santa Cruz. But really the goal is to not just impact Santa Cruz, but impact Santa Cruz and beyond. To take this message, whatever little piece of information that they got of inspiration yesterday, that they can take it to their community. They can take it to people they know, maybe in other communities, that we can impact people beyond.
Absolutely. There were speakers from all different realms, people from California, from the East Coast. They spoke on motivation. They spoke on health and wellness. They spoke on inspiration. And everybody had their own eclectic pitch. Everybody in the room took it how they wanted to take it, but everybody had their own message. They really spread it. People from Colette Brown, Aaron Wexler, Rosie Ballard, they were amazing on stage, incredible stage presence. Everybody was thrilled with the event. We had vendors there. It was at the Santa Cruz Museum of Art, which was an incredible venue that Russ had picked out. Guys, epic proportion, incredible event. Everybody loved it. People can, you know, kind of bring back to their own communities, as Russ was saying. And we're even getting some feedback this morning from the speakers in general, you know, people going up to them. And it seems that a lot of lives were impacted already at the event itself. People were going up to these speakers, going up to Aaron, going up to Colette, talking about their own health and wellness, their own motivational issues and how they can resolve them. And people took a lot from this event. And even me and Russ were sharing some text this morning about people who, you know, positive feedback, people who were in a bad place in life who received a great message out of all these speakers, and they could kind of parlay on it and, you know, really get themselves back into emotion where they think, you know, that positive energy is back in them. And that was the main goal, obviously, you know, that it's a health and wellness and a mental wellness summit. But, you know, motivation and well-being was really the goal here. We want the people to feel good about themselves, people to feel motivated, people to get out there, take that, you know, as we always say on Dual Coast, that first step to progress. And I think that really was the main goal. And I think we really achieved it. And I think Russ really put something together special, and he really achieved it, what he wanted to set out to do. Thank you so much, man.
You know, we talk about Karina, right? We did a live podcast yesterday with Karina Reed, and she's a seven-time personal trainer of the year in Santa Cruz area. She didn't want to be one of our speakers because she was so nervous, and she said she wanted to puke that morning.
She did,
but she really nailed it.
She nailed it.
She
absolutely nailed it.
I mean, yes, there were tears. Yes, there was welling up. You know, those kinds of things. But she nailed it. And what I think she nailed it on is what people struggle with today is an addiction.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Struggling with an addiction. I would highly encourage you to seek somebody like her that is, she calls it like a hurdle, right?
Correct.
A challenge, a hurdle, but it's not an illness. But she was born with this. She said that I have struggled with it my entire life, even though since 2007, she has gotten a better grip on the addiction, but it's something that is always there.
Yeah.
And we have a mutual friend as well who was there in attendance who also struggles with this mental hurdle.
Yes.
And you could tell she was not 100% in the game yesterday.
Absolutely.
But her and Karina, I'm telling you, they bonded. They've connected, they message each other, and what a light of inspiration that she can be.
Incredible.
You know, to her. And I just think that if you're struggling out there with an addiction, you need to seek help. And if you can't seek help, you can DM us.
Sure.
And we can guide you, we can lead you, but we can only take you so far.
Right.
Because, you know, we don't deal with that per se on a one-on-one, but we can take you to a certain spot. Then it's really finding somebody that can really take you deeper into getting help and helping you overcome those obstacles, those hurdles that are in your life.
Yes.
And Karina was a huge inspiration to not just this one individual that has been struggling, but whoever else in there that was unknown.
Yeah, for sure. I think a lot of hurdles were actually jumped over yesterday by a lot of people that were there, you know, just tracing back to what Karina said. She herself, you know, she gave us a whole rundown of her addiction and how she battled it. And she really progressed, but she wanted to progress. She made that move herself. She got out of that area, you know, in her life, and she really strived to make herself better. She seeked out fitness and she found fitness. And we always say on Dual Coast how motivation comes from movement. Physical wellness sometimes helps the mental wellness. I mean, a lot of times, honestly, helps the mental wellness. People were always saying, well, actually, people yesterday at the event were specifically saying that movement is medicine. Specifically, Rosie Ballard says it all the time.
Yes.
Movement is medicine. And Karina made it her medicine. She even said it on stage. And, you know, we made a comment. You guys will see this during the week when we get this, when we get the live podcast up from Karina. But she said that. I made a comment saying about her success journey, and Karina really got choked up when we said her success journey, because she didn't look at it from that standpoint. She didn't realize that she was successful in overcoming this addiction.
She asked you to say it again.
She did. She asked me to repeat the question
because it felt so good.
It felt so good, and she got really choked up, and that was, you know, I think emotional for everybody in the room, including me and Russ on the stage. She got really choked up.
I'm feeling it right now.
Yeah, I know he's feeling it right
now. Good thing I got glasses on.
She got really choked up when we said success journey. And that was really special, honestly. It was incredible. And she really made those hurdles. She even jumped that hurdle yesterday to get on the stage. She had a huge fear of public speaking. Like Russ was saying, she wanted to throw up in the morning. But once she got up there, she was super comfortable. And that's just another standpoint of success for her. She got up there. She beat something. She conquered a fear. And that's what we're all about. We want to conquer fears. We want to beat addiction. We want this wellness, this progress in life, and we really achieved it yesterday with everybody who was there, and that was the main goal, and I'm super happy about it. I'm sure Russ is super stoked about it too.
Absolutely. 100%. I was stoked about it.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, but it, you know, when I look back yesterday, went out to the end of the wharf and kind of debriefed with a friend of mine for about an hour, and it just felt so good watching birds and seals and, you know, eating a dead fish and watching fishermen fish and kids jumping off the end of the wharf and taking advantage of not having the lifeguard on duty. And so it was just so relaxing. I think we all needed our debrief from that. But, you know, we went out to a restaurant right after that.
Yeah.
And I think that was really good because it was kind of an impromptu debrief where a bunch of us there, but our friend Sally from Minnesota, who came to the event, which was amazing. Thank you, Sally.
Yep.
Sally stated this at the around the table that day yesterday, was that everybody had a story. Everybody has a story. And she goes, all of you related that story the way that you did.
For sure.
And so eloquently. And I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Because all of us have something inside of our lives that we're dealing with. All of us are dealing with something. Nobody is 100% free from hurdles in their life. No matter what level this may be in your life, none of us are exempt from that.
Correct.
And sometimes those hurdles, there's more at one time and sometimes less. And sometimes you feel like you're just kind of coasting through life and things are good, you know. There's always something there. And I love what she said because it was so inspirational around that table. She's like, you guys shared your story. And that's my encouragement to those that are listening to Dual Coast. Share your story. Yeah. That's the bottom line. I can't say any more and go further than that, but you have a story. You have a story. I have a story. We all have stories. We have to get out and share and encourage, because if we can impact one life, and we know collectively it was more than one yesterday, that we're doing what we need to be doing. And that's the work of movement. It's the work of mental awareness. It's the work of helping people overcome those obstacles that are in their way. And so I just want to encourage you today to share your story.
Absolutely. Absolutely. we went out to a dinner prior to the event, actually,
That was fun.
with all the speakers, and it was a great time. And, Russ in his, in his ways, hyping everybody up.
Let's go.
He was hyping everybody up, and he had a great speech, but he made a comment that really resonated with me, and he just touched on it a little bit. He said, share your heart. Share your heart. And that's really what we're about here. We want you to share your heart. We want you to tell us your problems, tell you what's going on in life. And everybody's always going to have hurdles, and we understand that. And Russ just made a comment. He said sometimes they come in more hurdles at the same time than other times, but there's always some sort of opposition. There's always something to jump over, always something to climb, always something to achieve. And it may not always come all at the same time. It may come little by little. It may come in full force once in a while, but you have to take each problem step by step, make progress each and every day, whatever that problem may be, whether it's health, whether it's wellness, whether it's finance, whether it's business, whatever it may be. It's step by step. And, we always say it's not about perfection, it's about progress, which is the truth.
Yeah,
so
100%.
We encourage you guys step by step, every single day, make yourselves better one way, the other way, whether it's mental, physical, anything you can. And obviously, me and Russ are always available to speak to. We always say that we're available on here. You guys reach out to us. We'll always get back to you. But we encourage you guys each and every day to take one step, get better, do what you can, make progress. And I think that's yesterday what we really achieved and what we were about.
Yeah. Something that just popped into my head while you were talking there about hurdles. When I was at Cal Poly Pomona, and that's a story within itself, but when I was at Cal Poly Pomona, we would sit underneath this oak tree 3 times a week in the fall season when we didn't have practice every day.
Okay.
We would sit under this, and we would go through this book called Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Great book on the mental aspect of your mind. Little paperback, Amazon, I think like $5 or $6. I encourage you to get it. But we would sit under this oak tree in the fall season, and we would go through this book. And one of the things that he showed us, our coach, he was older, Italian guy, ended up being the winningest baseball coach in college baseball history, John Scalinas.
Yeah.
John Scalinas said this. He said, I want men who are rock candy, like a jawbreaker, who are solid on the outside and solid on the inside. I don't want guys that are like a marshmallow, who are soft on the outside, soft on the inside. I don't want a player that is going to be hard on the outside and soft on the inside. I want somebody that's going to be a jawbreaker that is tough. And so when you dig into the box, the batter's box, and you take a high fastball, high and tight, and it knocks you down, who are you going to be when that obstacle comes your way? Are you going to be one that lays in the batter's box and doesn't get up for a while? Are you going to be one that gets up slowly and, thinks about, contemplates what happened right there? I just got this 95-mile-an-hour fastball at my head. Or are you going to jump back up? Sure. Are you going to jump back up and you're going to dig right back in? That is the kind of person that, as an athlete at Cal Poly, that he was trying to develop. And we're talking like 17, 18, 19, up to 21, 22 years of age. And year after year, we would talk about that. And I want to encourage you that you will have those obstacles. We all will. But when we're punched, when we're hit, or we get that fastball high and tight, how are we going to respond? Yeah. Are we going to be like marshmallow? Are we going to be a jawbreaker? How are we going to respond? So we're here to encourage you. We're here to help you. We're here to give you insight in whatever capacity that we can to encourage you, to help you to overcome your hurdle in life.
For sure. Yeah, I think resilience is a key to a lot of things that we say on us, guys. And Russ just pretty much put it perfectly. What type of batter are you? And, me and Russ both played baseball, so that's kind of more relatable to us, I guess, from the sports realm. But
it's trying to make it relatable to you.
It's a good question, though, for everybody. What kind of batter are you? How do you respond to resilience? How do you respond to problems? How do you get back in the box? How do you get up from those high fastballs? What type of person are you? And that's a question I actually pose to everybody who's listening. What type of batter are you? How do you respond to it? What do you do about it? And obviously there's always help from all those realms, but a lot of times it's up to you to kind of make that choice and respond in that resilience. And how do you respond to each of those pitches? And I think we'll probably end with that, guys. And amazing event over the weekend. You guys will see the live setup coming this week from us interviewing with Karina Reed. Event was epic. I hope Russ does it again, just in case. Throw
As
it
long
out
as you
there,
wear
throw-
that pink shirt,
I
man.
will. I promise you. Throwing it out there for him. But guys, as always, wellness is not about perfection, but it's always about progress. Check us out on Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Guys, we love you. We'll see you guys next week.
Have a great day.